Hello guys, welcome to my new video. So guys, in this video we'll be discussing about marketing and branding with AI generated images. Okay, so the first thing that we'll be discussing is how we can use AI for social media and content creation. Okay, so this is more like an extension of one of our previous videos where we discussed like how we can use AI for different uh, avenues. So this is also an extension of that particular video. So the first thing that we'll be discussing is creating on-brand images for social media marketing. So in today's digital landscape, consistent and engaging visuals are crucial for our brand identity, especially on social media. AI generated images, it allows us to create some custom visuals that are very much aligned with our brand's message, tone, or aesthetics. Even if we don't have any advanced design skills, we can create such images for our brand and for our company. So how we can create AI generated images for our brand? So the very first thing that we need to see is that we have to define the aesthetic of our brand. Okay, so before generating any image, we have to understand, what is our brand's visual style. Is it minimalistic, bold, playful, or whether it is professional? Okay, so this defining this particular thing will help select the right AI tools and prompts, for the image that we have to generate. For example, if we have a luxury brand or our client is related to a luxury brand, you know what type of AI tools we will use to generate high contrast, sophisticated product shots, with neutral colors and polished textures. Okay, so if we know about our luxury brand and we know about its brand aesthetic, we'll get to know what type of AI tool we should use to generate all these things, whether it's high contrast, sophisticated product shots, neutral colors and polished textures. While if there is a youthful streetwear, the brand might opt for more vibrant dynamic imagery, with an urban feel. So every brand is different and every brand's aesthetic is different, and according to that we have to choose our AI tool. And beforehand it is very necessary we should know all of these things about our brand or the brand for which we are working. The second thing is using consistent themes. So whenever we are creating images, we need to ensure that our you know color themes or schemes are very consistent. The schemes, the fonts or the design elements, all are very consistent. For example, if our brand is using primary pastel tones and soft lightning, we need to input prompts like generate a pastel themed flat lay with soft shadows and elegant typography. Okay, that this will give the image and the product a more cohesive look. That is the demand of the brand. Then we also need to utilize the templates that are present in some of these tools for their efficiency. Like many AI tools, like whether it's OpenArt AI or Canva, they offer templates for specific social media platforms. Like every social media platforms has a different template for different brands and for different brand aesthetic. So we can use templates for Instagram post, Facebook post, Facebook ads, Pinterest pins, uh, according to our need. In whichever social media platform we have to upload our product or image, we can use templates of those particular platforms or tools. Okay, so we can customize these templates with AI generated images to create a more consistent feed. Okay, for example, we can use a pre-designed Instagram template and generate unique input product backgrounds with AI that reflect some seasonal themes. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can do if you're creating on brand images for social media marketing. Okay, so if we take an example of this, I have written some prompts to explain you these examples. So if we are talking about creating an on brand image for social media marketing, here we'll be talking about creating a luxury fashion brand and a premier leather handbag. How we can create a luxury premier leather handbag? Okay, so here is a prompt for it. Okay, so I'll read out the prompt for you guys. So we have to generate a high quality social media post image for a luxury fashion brand. The image should feature a sleek dark background with spotlight effect on a premium leather handbag. The handbag should have gold accents, soft shadows, and a reflection beneath it for added elegance. Include a subtle brand logo in the bottom corner, ensuring a sophisticated and minimalistic aesthetic. Maintain a neutral, high fashion color palette of black, gold, and beige. Okay, so the explanation of the brand or the explanation of the prompt is given below. Okay, so when it comes to the brand aesthetic, it defines the luxury theme with minimalism and high contrast. So as you can see in the prompt, we have discussed about the bag having a minimalistic aesthetic and high contrast. Then is the visual composition. You know, the use of spotlight effects and reflections, it enhances the elegance. That is why in the prompt we have specifically used spotlight effects and reflections to enhance the visual composition of the product. Then is the color consistency. Neutral and gold tones align with the premium branding of the bag. It shows you the luxury item, and it shows you the luxury potential of that particular brand. That is why we have used the neutral and gold tones in our prompt. Then is the branding elements. Okay, so the subtle logo placement ensures brand presence without any distraction. Okay, so to make sure that there should be some branding elements that are related to the brand, we need to ensure that there are logo also that should be present in the bag. Okay, so now what we will do, we'll copy and paste this particular prompt. I have already copy and pasted the particular prompt, and this is the result we got out from it. Okay, but again if I copy and paste, so we'll get the result out of it. Okay, and every single thing that we had to achieve for this particular image with the help of that prompt, you will see in this image we have achieved that for our brand that we are working for. And here you can see it has generated an image for us. Okay, so the next thing that we'll be talking about is some tips for uh, enhancing our custom visuals. Okay, so social media, it thrives on visuals that capture attention very quickly. AI generated images offers us unique opportunities with the help of which we can enhance the view time of our audience towards our brand. Okay, and it also helps us to stand out by giving us very visually dynamic images, and especially it helps us to provide us those images that are not only visually dynamic but also that are made or that are tailor-made for our audience. Okay, so here are some of the key strategies with the help of which you can make some custom visuals. Okay, so the first thing is that we have to leverage high catching imagery. Okay, so we need to use AI to create bold unique visuals that break the mold of traditional stock photography. So with the help of AI we can create bold and unique visuals that are very different from very old stock photography that was used in social media long time before. you know Abstract designs, vibrant colors, and custom typography can make uh, your product or your image to attract a lot of attention towards itself. So if you are using all these three things by the use of AI tools like abstract designs, vibrant colors, and custom typography, you can very effectively and very quickly grab the attention of the social media user or of your customer. For example, instead of a plain product shot, we need to use AI to generate a surreal background like floating geometric shapes or extra abstract textures that adds intrigue. So in usually this is just an example for you guys. In the previous times you would have seen that the product at times on social media, the product used to have a very plain shot. For example, if there is a leather bag, it used to have a very plain shot uh, of the image. That is not suitable in these times, because in these times the viewer's attention or the viewer's view time is very less. So what you need to do is you need to create a background, and you need to insert such things into your image that adds intrigue, and that adds some interest of the buyer towards your product or the product of your client. Okay, the second thing is visual storytelling. So when it comes to visual storytelling, we need to use AI to generate images that tell a story to us, and that evokes emotion or that aligns with our cultural trends. This can deepen our connection with our audience. For example, a fitness brand, it could use AI to create motivational images that showcases dynamic movement, with some text overlays that highlight some inspiring messages. As you would have seen with a lot of product these days, for example, if it's a fitness brand or a sports brand like Nike or Decathlon, they use these type of things where they use motivational images, that showcase some dynamic movement, and with also some they use their text in such a way that highlight some inspiring messages in a very attractive way. The next thing that you have to do is engage with user generated content. We need to encourage our followers to submit their ideas to participate in challenges, where we can use AI to generate customized versions of their input. Okay, so we can tell our customers or our followers to give us some ideas regarding any challenges or any ideas regarding the brand, and then we can use AI to make sure that we can work on those ideas. Okay, so this not only drives engagement, but it also strengthens our brand's community presence also. For example, we can run a social media challenge, asking our followers to submit you know creative product uses, and then we can, on the basis of that, we can generate some AI enhanced visual of their ideas, and also feature them in our feed. So this will make our audience realize that they are quite important and quite special to us. Then what we need to do is that we can utilize motion and animation also. So some AI tools allow us to generate animated or GIF style visuals, that can also be very attractive for our audience and for our followers. Okay, because having an image is one thing, but having an animated image adds a lot of attractiveness to our image. How we can animate our image, that we'll discuss in the coming module or the coming lecture. Okay, so if we animate our image, this can be a very eye-catching moment for our followers and for the buyers of the product, because it catches a lot of attention in a crowded feed, and it also boosts a lot of engagement. Okay, for example, you can use AI generated animations for Instagram stories featuring you can also feature dynamic elements like pulsating backgrounds, floating text, or also product close-ups. So if we go to the example of the second part, so we can go here and we can discuss that. So when we talk about tips for enhancing engagement with custom visual, we'll discuss the prompt here. So the prompt is create an AI generated Instagram post for fitness brand. The image should show how an athlete mid sprint with dynamic motion blur effect to highlight speed. The background should have a gradient of red and black to evoke energy and passion. Overlay bold white text with an inspiring quote like push your limits in a modern athletic font. Ensure high contrast and a visual striking composition to capture attention. So this was the prompt, and now we'll discuss the details of this prompt. So the first thing that we'll discuss is the motion effect. So when it comes to motion effect, you will see it emphasizes speed and action appealing to fitness audiences. Okay, so as you would have seen in the prompt, we are asking the AI to have a blur effect to highlight speed. So this adds to the motion effect of the image. Then is the color psychology. So red and black color we are using to evoke power, urgency, and passion within our audience. These two colors represent these three things, and that is why we are adding these two colors, red and black. Then is the typography. So you know this image will use a more bold and high contrast font to stand out. Okay, so for standing out, we are using this type of typography that is bold and high contrast, that will make our image stand out and our motive also stand out, that will be representing through our text. Then is the text overlay. So the text overlay, it reinforces brand messaging with a motivational quote, and this also will motivate our audience to purchase our product. Okay, for example, a sportswear brand like Nike, as I told you earlier, can use this to enhance engagement with high energy marketing campaigns. And similarly, in the first example, also a brand, luxury brand like Louis Vuitton, it can also this to maintain a premium image, across platforms like Instagram through its Instagram post. So we will copy and paste this particular image, and then we'll see what result we get in our uh, chat GPT. And here we can see we'll be getting a result. It is not that I will be only teaching you that how we can generate image through ChatGPT or DALI. I will be teaching you, everything regarding generation of image in all the different tools that we have discussed in one of the videos. I'll be teaching you everything regarding those tools, but this is just to give you guys an example. Okay, so this was push your limits. You can see an image generated for us, and you can also generate it through DALI. So if you use DALI, then also you can generate this image. Okay, and a much more effective image will be coming out if you use this particular tool of ChatGPT, that is the DALI, that is specifically for generating images. So the next thing that we will be talking about is, building our brand identity using AI. So when we talk about building our brand identity with the help of AI, you know the first thing that we need to do is we need to know how to create a consistent visual identity for our business. Okay, so establishing a brand's visual identity with AI generated images, can save a lot of time, and it can ensure a more cohesive and a polished look for our product across all formats. So here is one way with the help of which we can use AI tools to craft a distinct identity. So the first thing is color consistency. So AI tools, it allows you to set specific color palettes that are aligned with our brand's identity. We always need to use the same colors for key elements like backgrounds, text overlays, and highlights to ensure a brand recognition. Because if we use different backgrounds, text overlays, highlights, color palettes every time, then we will not be able to ensure our brand recognition. Every time if our colors is different, people will also be confused regarding our brand. For example, a technology brand, it might choose a palette of blue and white for a sleek and a professional image. By feeding these specifications into AI generators, we can maintain our consistency of our brand, as well as we can maintain our color consistency, through across all our visual content. Then comes the typography matching. So you will be seeing that many AI platforms, they can automatically, apply our brand fonts, to generate custom typographic elements, that reflect our branding. So we need to ensure that our headlines, taglines, and captions, they all are uniform across all different images. Like if we are using typographic elements, if you're using one type of typographic elements in one Instagram post, the same we should be doing in another one also, to make sure that the visual identity of our business you know is consistent and through our images. Okay, the third thing we need to discuss is visual themes and templates. So AI allows us to create different templates that are attached to specific design elements of our identity, you know like framing, filters, composition rules. So this ensures that regardless of the content, the look of the product remains on brand. So no, it does not deviate from, the image is not deviating from the brand image of the product. Okay, and one of the example is that a wellness brand, it can create a template where the every product is shown on a minimalist background with natural elements, like leaves, stones, textures, and always in the same composition style. So if a wellness brand is following this particular strategy every time, it can be quite advantageous for it, because it will maintain its brands, it will maintain the consistency of its brand's visual identity. Okay, and then comes the personalization. So AI allows, us to rapidly produce personalized images, that resonate with different segments, of the audience, while it still retains, the brand's core identity. Okay, for example, a beauty brand can use, AI to generate different, ad visuals for, various skin tones or age groups, while keeping the consistent branding elements like logos, color schemes, and typographical hierarchy the same. Fine. What we can do is that we can create different ad visuals, but to maintain the consistency of our brand, we can use the same branding elements like logos, color schemes, and typographical hierarchy to also maintain the consistent brand identity or the visual identity of our product. So this one thing, this will ensure that we can produce different images at once, but one thing, it will also ensure that it maintains the consistent visual identity of our product. So if we discuss about the example of this particular point, then we have to come to this point, and then we will discuss a example of a skincare brand and discuss the prompt regarding this example. So generate a branded product showcasing image for a sustainable skin brand. The image should feature organic, all natural ingredients like aloe vera leaves and coconut shells around the product. The background should have a soft, earthy tone with gentle lighting to reflect the brand's eco-friendly values. Add a subtle texture overlay resembling recycled paper for authenticity. Maintain a minimalist design with ample white space. Okay. So when it comes to the explanation, the first thing is eco-friendly theme. So when it comes to our sustainable skin brand, so when it comes to sustainable skin brand, that means we are representing a skin brand that is eco-friendly. So we need to have an eco-friendly theme. So for that, uh, what we are doing is we are using such a theme that aligns with the sustainability, focus branding. That is the main theme of our brand. Okay, then is the natural elements, so we are also, you will see, incorporating a lot of natural elements into our image to show the sustainable uh, brand identity of our product or the eco-friendly brand identity of our product. That is why we are incorporating a lot of natural elements also, like the image should feature organic, all natural ingredients like aloe vera leaves, coconut shells around the product. Okay, then is the minimalism. So we have to keep the focus, of the product on purity and authenticity. So that is why we are using a minimalism theme or a minimalism tone, that reflects the eco-friendly theme and the sustainability of our skincare brand. Then is a textured background. So as we had already discussed, it is a sustainable skin brand, so it is very necessary that we enhance, the organic aesthetic behind the image of our product. So how we do that? We do it with the help of, a background that represents a recycled paper feel. Okay, so this also adds to the organicness of our image. Okay, so where we can use this particular type of prompt, we can use it, in a brand like the Body Shop, and where this particular image can be used for the product advertisements, that reflects commitment to sustainability. Okay, so in brands like Body Shop, we can use this particular type of image. So what we'll do is we'll copy and paste this particular prompt, and we will generate a image out of this. So when we will generate an image out of this, so we'll use DALL-E this time. So an image will be generated for us and we can see our results. If you want, you can also refine your image by, just counter questioning ChatGPT to add different things again and again. Okay, so it has not generated an image. So here is the image that is generated for us, so you can see every single thing that we asked our prompt to do, it did for us. It added the required background, it added aloe vera leaves, coconut shells, it added everything. Okay, so we can also refine it. If you feel like something there is missing, you can also again type here something, whatever you feel is missing from your image, and ChatGPT will added for you. Okay, so the next thing that we'll be discussing is, I think this is the last one, is the case. So we'll be discussing about case studies of businesses using AI to differentiate their brands. So the first case study is of the Airbnb. So Airbnb, it uses AI to generate custom images for its property listings. By generating enhanced visual representations of its properties, such as optimized layouts and neighborhood views, Airbnb ensures the consistency across its platform. So what Airbnb does is that it generates different type of visuals for its brand, but it maintains the consistency of its brands through its style, through its typography, through its logo. It also ensures the visual consistency of its brand and its identity. Okay, so this not only helps improve the visual appeal of each listing, but these type of measures that Airbnb is taking, it also strengthens the brand's identity as a clean and a user-friendly market space. So guys, the next brand that I'll be talking about is Nike. So Nike has also able to use AI tools to create more personalized marketing campaigns, and it has been able to generate more dynamic visuals with the help of AI that resonate with some of its specific audiences. For example, during the 2020 Olympics, Nike used AI to create some personalized running paths, which visually were quite similar to the terrain and climate of the user's location. But it was also able to align though Nike's core visual branding, whether it's bold, athletic, or high energy, that is the brand of Nike brand, into these personalized running paths. So it was able to create personalized running paths according to the user's location and some of the specifications of the user's location, but it was also able to maintain the core visual branding of Nike, that is bold, athletic, and high energy. And how it was able to do that? Through the things that we had already discussed with you, by for example maintaining you know more consistent background, typography, color palettes, all the things, all the particular things that we associate with Nike brand, it was able to keep that consistent. Okay, so this is how Nike used AI generated campaigns, to enhance its sales during the 2020 Olympics. Then the next brand that we'll be talking about is Etsy. So Etsy is like a global online marketplace where people, come together to sell, buy, or make some unique items. So, Etsy sellers, people who sell their products on Etsy, they have increasingly, turned to AI to create, some of their product mock-ups and images. So sellers can input different contexts, and they can create image according to the niche in which they are working. For example, if someone is working on home decor settings, they can create image for that. If someone is working on fashion shoots or luxury brand, they can create images on the basis of that. So what this allows is that this allows them to showcase their product in highly customizable and relevant settings. Okay, and with the help of AI image tools, they can also create you know an image that aligns with their brand identity, but an image that makes their product stand out from its competitors also, who use a very standard product photography. Okay, so these are the three case studies with the help of which we can understand more about how we can use AI image for our brand identity, for maintaining consistency of our brand identity, and we have also discussed a lot of other things. So guys, hopefully you like this video. In the coming video we will discuss about more important things. Thank you.